The Cloverfield Paradox is the latest movie in the Cloverfield franchise, and it stars Gugu Mbatha-Raw, David Oyelowo, Daniel Brühl and Chris O'Dowd. Now this is a surprise movie that was shown to us at the Super Bowl. I'm not from the US, so I got this information late this morning. Basically a trailer for the Cloverfield Paradox was shown during the Super Bowl. Everyone's thinking, oh, this is going to be good, but then it told you that the movie is going to be available on Netflix straight after the Super Bowl, and that's the big surprise. The movie revolves around these scientists that are on a space station and they're trying to solve the energy crisis down on Earth. There's basically a war going on down there because of the energy crisis, and they've used this device to try and resolve that. I don't know what it is the device really does because they don't really go into that, but they try and solve it by using this device, but it doesn't really work, so they're having to try it every now and again to see if it eventually works. And the scientists consist of people around the world, from Russia, Ireland, UK, USA. They're all there trying to solve it for all of their own countries, because all of their own countries are basically at war. And by using this machine, what's happening is they've created some sort of paradox, an alternate reality on their spaceship, and we find out more as the movie goes on. But also what happens is something lands on Earth, and that's what we think could be the monsters. I would say the best point about this movie is the cast itself. The cast is really strong, and even though the script is very weak, the cast do the best they can with what they're given. Now the movie plays out like a Cloverfield movie. Things happen in the movie that you actually question and you think you've got the answer to, but then a few minutes later you get given a different answer and you go, oh, okay then, I don't actually know what's going to happen. There are lots of questions in this movie as well that don't actually get answered. I won't say what they were just in case you saw the trailer. But there's things in the trailer and things in the movie that you see and you're thinking, okay, I'm looking forward to seeing the explanation for that, but you never get an explanation. And in some movies that's okay, but for this movie, you tend to think, why? Now a lot of people are saying that this movie just sprung out of nowhere. It hasn't sprung out of nowhere. This movie filmed almost 2 years ago. They started filming in June 2016, but I genuinely believe that this was filmed not as a Cloverfield movie, it was filmed as a movie on its own. And when you read the plot synopsis, and if you do watch this movie as well, if you watch this movie and take away the Cloverfield aspect, it's actually an okay movie. It's sort of like Life from last year, a little bit like Alien as well. Some of the scenes are like Alien, but a movie on its own. It's actually a strong movie on its own for the storyline it gives us, but it seems like it's forced in the Cloverfield aspect. It's maybe the marketing, I don't know, maybe Bad Robot, Paramount, whoever it is has come together and thought, this movie's not going to do very well without some sort of gimmick, and the gimmick they've chosen is Cloverfield. And I think the Cloverfield aspect of this movie doesn't pay off. One of the reasons I'm saying this is because with the marketing, obviously they have to run pretty fast with the marketing, because they marketed the movie and then an hour and a half later the movie came out, but they marketed it really sloppy, and again it caused more questions than answers. What I mean by that is, in the trailer we see the events of Cloverfield. It says 10 years ago, blah blah blah, this is what happened, and now we'll find out why it happened. Now is that telling us the movie set 10 years later in 2018 in today's day, or are they just telling us it's set in 2008? Now throughout watching the movie looks like it's set way in the future. I don't know everything about technology, but there's certain technology in this movie that doesn't exist. It doesn't exist in 2018, and it certainly wouldn't have existed 10 years ago either, in 2008. One of the things that I'm questioning is the 3D printer. I know 3D printers have been around for a while, but have they been able to print bagels? Edible bagels? I don't know. Have they been able to print guns that are fully functional? Is it just me kind of nitpicking? I don't know. But they're trying to make this movie realistic in a way, but to make a fully functioning gun and an edible bagel in 2008 is pretty questionable. One thing's for certain is the repair gun that Chris O'Dowd uses throughout the movie doesn't exist today, and it certainly didn't exist in 2008. I know that for a fact. Now the reason I'm bringing this up is because that technology tells me that this movie looks like it was originally set way in the future and had nothing to do with Cloverfield. But they took most of the parts out that they could and added in the Cloverfield parts. Therein lies the Cloverfield Paradox movie. There were scenes in this movie that I genuinely felt were maybe filmed a year later, just again to tie in the Cloverfield aspect. And those parts I'm talking about is with Mike, I think his name is Mike, Hamilton's husband, the guy who we see on Earth, the only guy we ever see on Earth. He finds a little girl called Molly in the rubble when all the we thought was bombs happening, but it actually turns out it was the monsters that were either landing, I don't know. But it seemed like those were shoehorned in there and maybe filmed a little bit later as well, and with a bit of editing it made it look as if they were filmed at the same time, because most of his scenes just felt like they were pointless. Most of his scenes, especially with Molly, when they end up in this little shelter, they had no meaning, no purpose for the movie at all, because they didn't lead anywhere. That was one of the things that didn't lead anywhere. It just basically told us, yes, we're looking forward to the Cloverfield movie. This is the Cloverfield prequel. We're coming up to the events of Cloverfield. That's all. Some people might be thinking the same about 10 Cloverfield Lane. They're just using Cloverfield as a marketing ploy and then adding in the Cloverfield elements into it. But there is a difference. 10 Cloverfield Lane marketed itself as its own movie, and it just had Cloverfield in the title. Yes, they used the name Cloverfield, but they marketed it as their own movie. And throughout the movie, you were thinking, is this part of the Cloverfield franchise? Is it part of the Cloverfield, or is it his own movie? That made you question it. This one didn't make you question at all, because it already told us it was a Cloverfield movie. Even the trailer told us, yes, it's part of the Cloverfield franchise. So you're not left thinking, is this a Cloverfield movie? You already know it is, even though it seems forced. One of the biggest issues that I had with the movie feeling forced is the very end of the movie. That seems like it was filmed within minutes, and again, just to put it in there as a Cloverfield movie, and it's something that just didn't sit right with me. I would say that if you're a fan of sci-fi movies, maybe not so much thriller, but if you're a fan of a sci-fi movie, then I would recommend seeing it. Again, it does seem like a little bit like Life. Glimpses of maybe Alien, Event Horizon, movies like that, then yeah, you might like it, but watch it as if it's not part of the Cloverfield franchise, because I would say that if you're wanting to watch it as part of the Cloverfield franchise, you will be very disappointed. Anyway guys, if you saw the movie, if you have, leave the comments down below. Let me know what you thought about it. Do you like it as a movie on its own, or do you like it as part of the Cloverfield franchise? Anyway guys, thanks a lot for watching again. Thanks for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.